Welcome back to Allan Plays Dragon Age Inquisition, part very high. If you're still with me here, you have gone above and beyond the call of duty, I think. But I hope you've at least enjoyed it. It's certainly fun to make, because our game is fun and awesome and all of that. And Cole seems to have returned. Which I guess makes sense, because there was some loading stuff that happened, so something probably did not stream in properly, but he's back now.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
That would have made everything much simpler.
The colors were pretty, though.
What did you think about what happened at Adamant?
What do you want to hear?
The nightmare said terrible things to all of us. You included.
It said it was like me. No, I was like it. Worse, a lie, twisted to hurt unless it isn't. I help the hurt, then make them forget so I fly free. It steals their fear, gloating, gluttonous. I don't make them forget for me. It's for them, easier for them, but it's for me too, so I can wash clean. I'm not like it. I'm not. I'm me. And if I'm not, you'll stop me. You'll kill me.
He probably isn't gonna like this.
It's all right, Cole. No one is going to kill you.
No, don't say that. You need to. If I'm bound or broken, you need to kill me. Before was wrong. But that was when I didn't know. I can't not know again. No one gets hurt because of me. Please.
What did you think of the fortress itself?
It scared me before. I couldn't feel through the fear. This time it was sad. Too much pain, darkness. They die in waves against the wall, bleeding, but the blood inside is the same. No one should live there. Bad things happen.
You saw the divine, or the spirit acting like her. What did you think she was?
Helpful.
That isn't an answer.
It was hers. Spirits aren't able to do what I do, but I can. I am me. She was her, whatever she was.
What did you think of the Grey Wardens?
They obeyed orders to hurt people they were supposed to protect. They were like the bad Templars. You should have banished them.
You seemed to be uncomfortable in the Fade.
Yes, wrought, right and rigid. Can't relax, can't release. Shouldn't have been there like that. Like looking at a picture of yourself, but you're a picture too. I wanted to flit, fly, flow back to freedom, but frozen instead, frightened. Not like that. It should be like me.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
You miss court intrigue? When were you at court?
Oh, well, never directly, of course. An elven apostate is rarely invited to speak with empresses and kings. But from the Fade, I have watched dynasties form and empires crumble. It is sometimes savage, sometimes noble, and always fascinating. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
Am I sensing concern over how we dealt with Briala?
No. Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
Spirits.
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, Briala did what she could. She was an admirable woman, even if her gambit failed.
You're an admirable man. Not many people know who they are the way you do.
Thank you. Both for saying that and for seeing them. Few in this world can see me, instead of just seeing a pair of pointed ears. Hello.
We'll talk.
Dark.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you'd like to do more often, then?
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No. Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me. What's on your mind? As you...
Here is the request Harriet made.
I will see he gets it.
Fennec Fangs. Fennec Fangs. And a lot of other things here. Damage against beasts. I'm surprised I didn't get damage against Darkspawn. There we go. The last one.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
Whoever becomes divine will have my support if she requires it.
And I'm sure whoever becomes divine will absolutely require the Inquisition's backing. The Chantry is faltering, but it still has influence over the people. Who tells the people what's right? Who do they look to in times of peril? A divine with enough support can change the Chantry. And with it, Thedas. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems. A message from Divine Justinia.
That's a shock. You're right reading it.
Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there.
Why hide things in Valence? What's so special about it?
Justinia was revered mother at the Chantry there for many years before she became the Divine. It is a place that holds great meaning for her.
Do you know what you're looking for?
The Divine was a powerful woman who used her position to obtain all sorts of things. Whatever she hid in Valence would very likely benefit the Inquisition and must be kept from falling into the wrong hands. If I'm lucky, she will have instructions for me.
Is this you asking permission to leave for a bit?
Well, yes. I can't imagine I'll be away from my post for very long. And I was hoping you would agree to come with me. Will you at least consider it? One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the Chantry in Valence. Try not to delay.
Interesting. Hey, Solas! Actually, let's go talk to Blackwall. Never mind, I guess I'll talk to Varric.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heroes asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Can I ask you...
You want to talk about me?
Thanks.
No problem.
You know, looks like I have some judgments to do.
To judge a true Grey Warden.
Heroes, then. Saved us all a while back.
A sad lot of lives.
What up? Ghoul's beard. I want to change this one though to the Amrita Bane. Keep the others as they were though, but
There is a problem that needs your attention, Inquisitor.
oh, really? Glad I spoke to this person. Where is Morrigan? Hello.
You're the Inquisitor. Mother never told me the Inquisitor was an elf.
That's not such a terrible thing, is it?
No, I just don't know why your people want to look like that.
Kieran, are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on her hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man. My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad. Perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
Will his father be joining us as well?
'Twould be most unlikely. I have raised Kieran on my own for quite some time now, as was my preference from the start. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
There's something rather unusual about him.
There is. He is a special lad. It falls to me to protect him from anything and anyone that mean him ill. Most of all, he must be protected from myself. No one could harm him more than I. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Allan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. I know you did not want me here, Inquisitor. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may. I understand you have spared the Grey Wardens from destroying what goodwill was left them. 'Tis good of you, considering the weakness Corypheus exploited was their own doing. Still, should a true archdemon one day arise, they will no doubt be needed. Or so they would have us believe.
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. Leniana has built a network of spies beyond anything Thedas has seen. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
I have no idea what will happen once all this is over.
Do you not? No doubt there will be countless men and women with suggestions. Beware the heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is done, many will be eager to knock you back down.
What work have you been doing to help us?
Currently, my efforts are focused on determining what Corypheus is, and from where his power comes. The elven orb he carries is what draws my attention. I wonder if the power he used to tear open the Fade, in fact, came from the orb. Perhaps it is even the source of your anchor. If I learn of its origin, I may also learn what Corypheus now intends, as well as his weaknesses.
I could use your company for my excursions outside Skyhold.
I have spent my share of time wandering the wilderness in the company of others, Inquisitor. Thank you for the invitation, but for now I will restrict my efforts to researching the arcane.
Do you know anything about his dragon?
It has the appearance of an archdemon. Of that, I am certain. A true archdemon, however, is supposedly the corrupted form of an old god. Has Corypheus actually dug up one of the ancient prisons? If so, why has a new blight not begun? His dragon is something else, something connected to his blighted nature as well as his magic. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Is it even possible that Corypheus could succeed?
The Black City exists. Wherever one goes in the Fade, it is visible in the sky. The last time Corypheus and his cohort stormed its doors, they unleashed the Blight upon the world. This time, perhaps he might indeed gain untold power, becoming something unto a god. It is also possible he could unleash something far worse than the Blights. So yes, Corypheus could succeed in his goal. If not, his attempt alone could destroy the world.
Corypheus says I'm a rival. Does that mean...
Could you become a god? That depends. Are you prepared to use your anchor to enter the Black City?
I wouldn't know how, if that's even possible.
Perhaps Corypheus fears the moment when you learn.
We know so little about Corypheus.
Continue prodding at Corypheus, Inquisitor. Elicit a reaction, and we may yet learn from it.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah yes, whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kokari Wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its darkspawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some Chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight.
The Blight began in the Kokari Wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. He is the reason the Blight was defeated. We were very close. It was difficult to leave him. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane, and that I could answer questions no Chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became her advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Until next time, then.
Morrigan is an interesting character. But I was looking for... There! That's who I was looking for.
Herald of Andraste.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are our forces at Sky?
We have many injured. The siege of Adamant was brutal for all involved. Even so, more flock to your banner. They have heard that the Inquisition defeated the legendary Grey Wardens. Your soldiers have been blooded, Inquisitor. They are veterans now. An army in more than just name.
Do you have information on people?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. With the rift near Crestwood sealed, the people are vanishing in the hills of Emprise. More than that I cannot say. Until...
First, this wasn't my idea. It is an issue born of titles and heir apparency and... Halam Shiral is having difficulty freeing trade routes formerly controlled by Duchess Florian. Had she been tried, her assets would be forfeit and considerable bureaucracy avoided. So they ask that we judge her.
Are you serious? I did my part. She's dead.
I'm assuming that's her.
That was the time allotted for rebuttal. Her crimes negated any claim to... Forgive me, there is an odor.
Community service.
Strangely enough, something similar happened to an uncle of Emperor Leandra II. His trade routes were returned to the reigning monarch. Why don't we just follow suit?
A wise choice.
Thank you for making it swiftly.
I was not expecting that. Be interesting to play that through if if she's not dead.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was at Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
The nobility needed a shock. Corypheus played them all for fools.
I agree completely. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The Empress realized she was in danger.
She's always in danger. Those loyal to her should have practiced more vigilance. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
I kept dreading I'd drop the wrong spoon or step on a general's foot.
Well done. Feuds that spanned ages have sparked over less.
Really?
Inquisitor never underestimates the enmity of those for whom outrage is a sport.
It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
We're well loved in Orlais. Say the words and Empress Celine will send her support.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus's followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
Perhaps they'll rethink following the Darkspawn Magister from the dawn of time. Where is Corypheus now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
Good of Corypheus to make it easy to find him. If he's hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we finish him.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
I'll ignore that you wandered in without knocking. You have my attention.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you.
Everybody's so cryptic. Inquisitor is getting frustrated.
This is an Illuvian.
You just
elven artifact from
brought
a time
that in
long
here?
before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
This belonged to my people.
I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds. Untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be, where does it lead?
It leads to disintegration, game over. Oh, that was... Way to go out like a chump.
If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This place is extraordinary. How could this even exist?
Who can say? Formed from the fabric of time and space, perhaps. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key.
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
This place isn't natural. It almost seems constructed. It's as if someone made a pocket within the Fade with its own rules of reality. If the ancient elves could do this...
It seems remarkable that the Magisters of Tevinter could ever challenge them. Yes.
It's deteriorating. Eventually, this place will simply collapse on itself.
Who can say how old it is? For now it stands, and thus retains its value.
If most of these mirrors are broken or locked, then what use are they?
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon.
And boom, Morgan traps me, game over. Ah! I come from the school of Rocks Fall, You Die game design. It's perhaps a reason why I'm not actually a designer.
I imagine your forces will be heading into the Arbor Wilds very soon, Inquisitor. Trust me when I say that wherever the Illuvian is hidden, it is worth any effort to prevent Corypheus from acquiring it.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Kind of expedites Crit Path, at least in my role-playing perspective.
It's you. Your worship. I'm so... Your worship. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
I assume that means they both want something very badly from us.
You're quite correct. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a Venatory cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevada instead of Tevinter.
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer gain.
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Navarra.
Probably not.
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sikar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as... thin.
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
This will be interesting, because if I go ask the Canary for help against the Venatori, Tevinter will get pissed at that, probably. But, let's see what this does. Curious who doesn't like this.
Tell the Archon the Inquisition will do Tevinter the favor of wiping out the Venatori on its borders.
Very good, Inquisitor. We'll inform him at once.
Anything else?
Yes?
What do the people...
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any visiting dignitary?
Marquise Hedinel is here, but Her Grace sends her apologies for missing dinner. Allergies, I'm afraid.
Allergies to what?
Wheat, eggs, honey, meat, most fish, some poultry, and even peppers, Tevinter fruits, and every nut under the sun.
What does the Marquise subsist on?
Spite, according to her sibling, as the Marquise had the fortune to be firstborn of her family. Try to avoid invitations to any of their luncheons.
Still gotta talk to Blackwall, I believe. I might do a quick jaunt to see anyone else as well, just because I don't, someone else did get a double conversation. Oh snap. I am gonna grab this. Boom. Interesting.
Inquisitor.
At your service.
It's kind of an asshole thing, but...
All right.
wonder what it is that gives Grey Wardens their legendary skill and stamina. I should like to study one. Would that fine fellow I've seen in your company consent to a careful examination?
Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Allan. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral.
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job. We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Well, let me know if you find it.
Sarah was never an agreeable girl. Her tongue tells tales of rebellion, but she was so fast and quick with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and they're joyful, but she knew the ways of nobler men, and she knew how to enrage them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. A rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. Sarah was never quite the wealthiest girl. Some say she lives in a tavern, but she was so sharp and quick with a bow. Arrows strike like a dragon. Sarah was never quite the gentlest girl. Her eyes were sharp like a razor, but she knew the ways of commoner men, and she knew just how to use them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate.
Of course.
We were set to lose how many? And the charges blew through and saved the lot.
I know. That wasn't a battle, it was a brawl.
Secret
You're different. It shines on you, shimmering, sharp. You made magic from the rifts.
Do I seem that different to you?
The Fade sticks to mages. Little figments flitting, floating free, then forced into shapes. Fire, ice, lightning. You use the Fade itself. You make it charged, but not changed. Channeled enchantments. It's strong and pure, and loud. You ripple like water when the stone is dropped.
I take it not all mages feel the way I do.
Solus is the same, but quieter. The Fade is his friend. He doesn't need to look to know where it goes. Vivienne is crisp and cool. The Fade dances, darts, lashed and leashed. Dorian pulls at pieces, pushing them to bodies. I like him more when it's just fire. And the Venatori are dark and hard and cracked and old. They pull the Fade with blood and pain and ancient lying whispers.
I hope you like the way I feel now.
Yes. It's different, but familiar. It reminds me of me. Did you need me?
I'll talk to you.
Probably. She's still behind the curtains in the reading room. watching the blood pool on the floor.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably. A breath-caught smile from the enchanter as the candle lights. The walls are safe. She will never be hungry again.
I'll talk to you.
How...
Thank you.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
It seems like there should be a quest right here, like to talk to the bard. Based on that exclamation point.
Just rumors.
Inquisitor?
Can you...
A few Orlesian nobles didn't like how things ended at the Winter Palace. They're not rebelling outright, but they've brought in mercenary companies in preparation. The Charters have a good reputation. If we go in, we can buy the companies out from underneath them. The nobles will lose the men they meant for causing trouble, and the Inquisition gets some fresh blood.
We'll talk later.
While I'm here, though. Some of these could possibly be good. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Nice.
Not now, sister.
I know what you mean to do. It won't help.
My father drowned there. Who are you to tell me what will make me feel better? I'll find him. I'll find the mayor and I'll...
Decide your actions before you go. In the moment, there's only before and too late.
It's like people aren't loading in properly. I'm going to do a quick save and load. Because it's some wonkiness going on for sure, I think. Well, I keep running into, like, invisible bodies. There we go. Strange.
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company. When I was a boy, there were these urchins who roamed the streets near my father's house. One day, they found a dog. A wretched little thing. It came to them for food. They caught it, tied a rope around its neck, and strung it up.
What?
Do you know what I did?
Not the fireside tale I was expecting, Blackwall.
Just listen. I did nothing. Not a damn thing. It was crying. I saw the kicking legs, the neck straining and twisting. And I turned around, went inside, and closed the door. I could have told my father, or alerted someone. I didn't. I just pretended it wasn't happening.
You couldn't have been the only one there, and no one else stepped in.
Doesn't make what I did any less wrong. I may as well have tied the noose myself. We could make the world better. It's just easier to shut our eyes.
When we first met, you were saving peasants from demons and outlaws. You're not a man who shuts his eyes. A little insane, maybe.
Of course you'd make light of it. You make saving the world look easy. The rest of us can only dream of matching what you've done. Don't you see? It's not just about what happened back then. There's always some dog out there. Some fucking mongrel that doesn't know how to stay away.
Inquisitor?
What's the current mood?
Willful.
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Have you left me here? Temple sacred.
Stop following me.
I haven't taken a step.
The Spy Master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
Go on. Leliana knows where he is, doesn't she? She knows everything.
She doesn't know everything, yet. Sister Leliana had us search the Warden's quarters. Not much to find, except this. It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
On that note, I'll make a cut